man is from, what area, what part of the state?
He's not from Kansas. Outside of that, I'm not at liberty to
Is he
say.
from Missouri?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Did he know any of the suspects?
We have no indication that he knew the victim. We have no indication that he knew the victims.
Is he known to you all?
He was not known to us till today, to the police department.
Chief, I want to make sure I understand this. All the shootings did occur outside?
As far as I know, yes.
Wasn't there some sort of audition process going on inside of that theater?
There was in that general area, yes.
The injured, we were hearing that it was a teenager, one of the injured.
I don't know that yet.
Chief, can you tell us if there's anything else in the car, value, other weapons, manifestos, writing, bumper stickers, anything that would give you some hint as to what's going on?
Well, there are other things in the car, some things that we consider to be evidentiary, but until we have a chance to vet those and to work with the prosecuting attorneys involved for their evidentiary value and evaluate that, we're not at liberty to say what.
Chief, you work very closely with the Jewish community. You guys are always securing things for them. After recent hate crimes in other parts of the state, you guys work with them to ensure their safety. This has got to hit home for you as well.
It does. The community center has really, really worked hard to maintain a safe environment, and we've worked with them. It is somewhat a personal tragedy.
Anything leading up to this that you guys have seen through some video or writings or anything that would lead you to believe that something may have happened?
No, this was, unfortunately totally unexpected. If we had the slightest hint something might have happened, we would have done everything to intervene and stop it.
Chief, are you at liberty to say if there were, I know someone had asked you about manifestos, were there any other firearms, any other munitions in the car? Can you speak to that?
I cannot speak to that. As I said, we're going to have to vet and evaluate the things we find in the car and look at them from how it stands as evidence and evaluate what it means. That's currently underway. I don't have that information.
Is the car at the regional crime lab now, or where will it be?
We have access to the regional crime lab. I think they're participating. We have access to the crime scene processing from the FBI. They may be assisting.
What do you think of the connection between this guy and either center, the Jewish community center?
Not that we know of.
Did he ever go inside any of the buildings, Chief?
Not that I know of. I mean, to say ever is a big, broad term. He may have been in at some other time, but as far as we know today, he was not inside when the shooting took place.
So the first two occurred outside the theater of the Jewish community center.
To the best of my knowledge.
And the third occurred in the parking lot of Village Shalom Retirement Community.
To the best of my knowledge.
Minutes later.
Yes.
Was he chased to Valley Park Elementary, or did you
No.
report that he was there? How was he ever?
He was apprehended after the first incident that we had. The second incident followed closely behind, and we immediately understood we had an active shooter and went into our active shooter protocols and began to search for him with the best information we had. We saturated the area, and I believe 2 of our officers found him in the school parking lot.
Do we know the ages of the victims, by the way?
We do, but again, I'm not at liberty to point that out because, and here, I mean, this is a somewhat unique circumstance. By now, many of the local family members may have been notified, but as you all know, this is becoming a national story, and I don't want to put out any information about the victims until we're certain all people have been notified. I'm not going to comment.
What weapon was used at the Village Shalom?
I do not know.
Again, you don't know.
I don't know.
There are some reports going around that some people at one of the 2 facilities had actually seen this man before, and it may just be hearsay. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not heard that. It's not impossible. I mean, obviously, if a person had pre-planned to do this and was deliberate on that, surveillance would have been expected. But we've had no reports of that, and I have no way of knowing if anyone has indicated that.
If he's not from here, do we have any idea as to how long he has been in the area?
No.
Where is he now?
He's in custody at the Johnson County Detention Center with the sheriff.
And the 2 injured, I'm still unclear. You have 2 who were shot at, but you have 1 who's in the hospital.
The person who went to the hospital succumbed to his wounds.
Okay,
So there are 3 fatalities, 2 that are not injured.
2 that are uninjured.
But 5 that were shot in total. And that would include the 2 uninjured.
Yes. That's all the victims we know.
Sorry, I'm unclear. The FBI is here, I see. The FBI does help investigate hate crimes. Can you at least say that you are investigating that angle?
Of course, and we are. We're investigating it as a hate crime. We're investigating it as a criminal act. We haven't ruled out anything. I don't want to say the terrorism word, but, you know, this is, again, three hours into it. It's only wise and prudent. We use every resource we have. The FBI has been our faithful partners for many, many years. And I tell you, this isn't unusual that they help us with cases of significance and with resources that we don't have for a variety of things.
Do you expect the first appearance tomorrow? Are we talking about the schedule will be?
That, again, it's so early on in this process. That's not a decision that we've made at this point. We will definitely let you know if any decision on the prosecution side will be made. Barry and I will talk on a number of occasions. It's a joint state and federal investigation, and we'll keep you in the loop.
Well, then, to that
Can you tell us
point,
about what the federal, unless is it a hate crime or what the federal rule is?
federal charges.
Well, as the chief said, it's just too early right now for what Steve and I are going to be doing. As the evidence comes in and it's collected, we'll both sit down with our offices and our assistants and decide, you know, which avenue would be the most prudent one to
The fact that
pursue.
he came across, if he did come across state line, would that make it federal or federal jurisdiction?
No, sir. Just going across state line, no, sir.
Were there any threats to Jewish community centers prior to this that you guys are looking at, or maybe going back through the,
Not that I know of.
are you going to be increasing patrols around the center after the result of this?
We're not going to give the specifics of the tactics we will be employing. I can tell you as much as this. Immediately when we went and had an active shooter, we dispatched vehicles to secure and surveil all of the active Jewish facilities within the city and many other religious institutions which are not Jewish. As to what we continue to do from this point, all that I can say is we will do everything necessary to try to continue to be safe and keep the people of this city safe.
Do you have any reason to believe that there's any connection to the coming holiday, the Passover holiday tomorrow, or what, Monday? Tomorrow, Monday.
You know, it's hard to say. It'd be easy for me to speculate and start drawing conclusions and try to put lines to the dots, but it'd be unwise to do so at this point.
Could we just, again, for clarity, the two that were missed were both at the community center, is that correct?
I don't know for a fact, but I don't think they were at the community center. I am not certain. And I really don't want to comment on something I'm not certain about.
Could you give us the genders of the victims, male, female, female?
2 males at the Jewish Community Center and 1 female at
All females, right?
No. 2 males at the Jewish Community Center, 1 female at Beth Shalom.
Was she a staffer or a patient client or
I honestly,
resident?
I do not know.
Have you had a chance to interview the suspect at the jail, or are you doing any discussion with him now?
I'm not at liberty to say.
I don't know if anyone's asked this or if you guys have ruled it out, but in light of recent events, I have to ask you, any connection to the triangle shootings that we've been seeing on the highways the past couple of months, please?
Well, it's too early to tell. I mean, we have no active information that would lead us in that direction, but the investigation is so early. As you might imagine, we will be working with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department to cover any lead, and that, if that's a possibility, we will be looking at what they have.
Do you think this could
One
be
more
connected-
question.
Do you think this could be connected to David Irving and MSM appearances in town?
We have no reason to believe that. There's no information or indication. Thank you very much.